Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AniQuest podcast. I am your host, Nate Milbank, and joining me, as always, are my co-hosts.
Hey, everybody. I'm Adam. Good to be back for my little sojourn to YumaCon 2015.
And Chris here. I survived Halloween. I'm here.
Hello, my name is Elder Dan, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book. Yes.
And Andrew, I sped all the way home from college to be here on time.
It's okay.
And we have a new, lovely addition to our supremely diverse cast of 4 white Americans and a white Canadian.
Yes, we are adding tonight a white man all the way from the distant country/continent of Australia. Please introduce yourself, mite.
Well, my name's Cosma, and I like refreshing walks on the beach and very, very gay anime.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Cosma, since you're new here, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, let's see. I personally know Adam Stone, the one and only. I traveled to YumaCon with him this weekend. Let's just say that what happens in YumaCon stays at YumaCon.
Oh, you.
My favorite anime is easy. It's Hunter x Hunter.
Which one?
Oh, God. To the 2011 one. I've watched the 1999 one, and but my least favorite, oh God, I guess it's Higurashi with English dub.
Yeah, that dub was terrible.
That gives me shivers to this very day.
So, with the introductions out of the way, let us move on to what we have been watching this past week. Andrew, care to start us off?
Okay. Other than my normal seasonal stuff, I just I make good on my promise. I picked up One Punch Man. And I've watched all 5 episodes.
What do you think?
I love it. It's great. I'm gonna say it's definitely the greatest comedy show this season that I've seen. It's contender for the best thing this season for me, but I have yet to see Omatsu-san. I'm gonna pick that up maybe next week. Depends.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, but, and the best thing about One Punch Man, it was kind of hard for me to find it originally because it's not on Crunchyroll, and I could have sworn it was on Crunchyroll. It's on Hulu. And the best thing about that is, they are not doing the 1-week subscriber exclusive thing that everyone else seems to be doing. So if you're not paying for a Hulu subscription, you can still watch the newest episode right when it comes out. So, you've got no excuse not to watch it if you want to watch it. Also, I actually bought some stuff. First thing is, this one was a gift to me for my birthday from my, older brother. It's a Final Fantasy VII Advent Children poster. And
why would you do that? Your brother must hate you.
He loves that movie, just like I do.
It's the best game ever.
I don't really care for the game too much, but I really like the movie. But and unfortunately, the only wall space that I can really put stuff on that isn't covered by doors or cupboards is right above my bed. So if I'm laying on my back when I try to go to sleep, and if I look farther back, I can just see Cloud and Sephiroth going at each other. It's kind of weird.
Are they hugging?
It kind of looks more like they're going for a kiss with swords.
Good.
Kiss, kiss, fall in love.
No.
Okay, and there was a yen press sale on Right Stuff, so I got the first Haruhi light novel. Planning on reading that because I've been wanting to get those for a while. I got the 4th volume of Akame ga Kill and the 2nd volume of Homero's Revenge. I haven't read any of them yet. And one last thing, 2 weeks ago I was being able to guest on another podcast. It was pretty cool. I'll just say one thing. The runtime of that thing makes this look tiny. 6 hours.
Ew.
What is this again?
Wow.
It was a Dungeons and Dragons show. We started at 9:30, ended at 3 in the morning. But they were nice. Let me advertise there. If you're interested in it, you can tweet me, and I'll give you the link to it. But that's everything. That's everything I've watched. Move on to who's next.
I actually did not have much time to watch anything because I've still been going through exams and stuff at school. I was watching One Punch Man. I've gone through the first 2 episodes. But because of that, because of school, I stopped watching it. But what I did watch was I actually bought a few seasons of Dragon Ball off of somebody, so I've been rewatching the first season just to make sure that all the discs work. I started watching The 7 Deadly Sins on Netflix. Thank God it's finally here. And I've watched the first 10 episodes, and I'm gonna probably have to stop watching soon just because it's getting really close to where I am in terms of the manga. So I'm gonna have to start reading ahead on the manga so I can continue watching the anime. I wanted to watch Vampire Wars just so that I could get something in for the topic of this episode, but unfortunately I didn't have time.
Alright, hey, it's Chris. So I finished a lot of shows recently, as opposed to, currently watching things. 2 shows that I recently finished that I think that everyone would just be better off not watching.
Is it Charlotte?
No, but I'll just talk about a show called Goku-sen. It was released by Media Masters. I did not care for it. It was average at best. The comedy just didn't work. The characters were really shallow. It was just, kind of a chore for me to get through. It got better as it went along because I was kind of, getting accustomed to what it was trying to do. Another show that I found incredibly average, below average, was a show called Avenger. It was released by Bandai back in the day. It's a B-Train show.
Oh, lovely.
The amount of time that they spend just zooming in on the characters' emotionless eyes is ridiculous. It's the main heroine has 2 to 3 lines of dialogue throughout the entire episode, and it's basically the same line repeated over and over and over again. It was just really boring. It got better Goku-sen did later on, because I guess I was kind of getting used to it. If anything, it was mindless entertainment. It was a sci-fi series. I paid $12 for it. Money not well spent, I'll say that.
It is B-Train, though.
Yeah, I'm normally a B-Train fan. I like the Girls with Gun trilogy. I did not care for this show, however. Some other things I finished watching. I finished watching Tekkaman Blade.
Oh, what'd you
How
think?
was that? I watched the first quarter. It's great.
I enjoyed it. The only downfall for me is it's a 49 episode series, so I can understand the need for some recap episodes. There are about 4 of them in the entire series.
That's common in a lot of mecha anime. It doesn't really surprise me.
Oh yeah, it was an early 90s show too, so I was expecting some of that sort of stuff. And it was by Tatsunoko.
Oh.
They're more famous for Gatchaman.
And Speed Racer.
And Speed Racer, that's true.
And Hurricane Palomar.
Oh, yes. And Casher and Sins.
A lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna get to Casher and Sins in a second. I loved Tekkaman Blade. Aside from, the animation quality hasn't held up well. It's an early 90s show. Other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. I recommend it if you're, looking for an older, mecha-type series, sci-fi, to watch. And then the other show that I finished, which I'm surprised no one ever talks about, is Casher and Sins.
I need to watch that, really, really badly.
Is
That's
you're
really
talking about
good.
the original, right? The original or the reboot?
Oh, I'm talking about the remake.
Okay.
I am, so mad at myself that I didn't start watching this sooner. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and it was just kind of average to me, but as it progressed around episode 4, I was getting really hooked, and then by episode 5 and 6, it was set. It's probably one of my new favorite animes. The animation style is reminiscent of, an older type of animation, similar to the original. The action sequences, it's all well done. It kind of felt like a graphic novel in a sense, or an American comic book. I liked it a lot. It's really bleak and dark and depressing, but if you want a different sort of sci-fi show, I definitely recommend watching Casher and Sins. And other than that, I've been actively watching Mushishi, and 5 stars all around. I'm almost done watching that. And the other show I've been actively watching is Charlotte, but I'm not going to comment much on that right now.
Yeah, we'll get to Charlotte eventually.
And that's everything. So I think that, Adam, you were up next?
Oh boy. So due to cons, I wasn't able to watch a lot, but I did finish Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, aka Fate Stay Night Unlimited Budget Works. And I was correct. Anime turned out to be anime, and the main character went Super Saiyan. And you know what? I was kind of on the whole show as it was going off, but the minute season 2, or part 2, whatever you want to call it, picks up, it takes off like a gunshot, and it gets really, really, really good. It makes me want to go back and watch Fate Zero, the prequel. It shot up my list of really good animes to the point where that anime got really good really quickly and in a shockingly amount of time. So, yeah, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Budget Works, it really did have an unlimited budget, and it got really good. Other than that, I didn't really get a chance to watch much. I got a few snippets of a few anime at the con, but nothing too exciting. But, yeah, that's about it for me. Dan, what do you got?
Basically continue watching One Punch Man and Osamatsu-san. Both are really good shows of the season.
Am I the only one not watching One Punch Man?
Obviously.
Pretty much.
I'm not either. I'm not watching it.
I'm not watching Seven Deadly Sins, so I'm pretty much out of the loop.
Oh, I'm going to have to start watching that like immediately, aren't I?
Yeah. It's a fun show. It's definitely worth it.
It's really fun.
And I don't say that much.
There's a clip online of like the main character like at this like bodybuilding competition, and everyone's laughing at him. He goes like, "Okay, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh, look, I'm the best at everything." And everyone just kind of goes, "We're done here."
Yeah, that's the newest episode.
Yeah, that's the last. That was pretty funny. But watching those, that's besides anime wise. That's it. I've been picking up my Studio Ghibli Blu-ray movies, and I've been picking up some of those films I'm trying to pick up from Miyazaki. I only have like one more to pick up. I picked up Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away on Blu-ray, so I was happy with that. But I just to get Porco Rosso, that's it. I've also been watching Star Wars Rebels. I got that on DVD. I was like, I should start watching this, and I love it. It's a good show. I mean, if you're really a big Star Wars fan, it's worth it. But other than that, that's really all I've been watching. Sorry, Nate?
For Halloween, I finished Shiki, and all I have to say is just, damn. I mean, damn. No, it's not that the show's ending was bad, it's just really, really heavy as far as its message goes. And what it has to say about our treatment of an exterior threat, and furthermore, it has the old Frankenstein mythology of who's the real monster? The monster itself? Or it's one of those shows that asks the question, who's the real monster? The monster itself? Or the villagers attacking the monsters? It is a great series, especially if you want to watch on Halloween. There's plenty of disturbing imagery, the atmosphere is intense. Yeah, this show is awesome. And so, in order to sort of wash out a heavy show like Shiki, I took a turn for the Moe, and I watched Love Live.
Yay.
Kill it with fire.
But the game's good.
Yeah, I love the game. I play the game all the time on my cell phone. I've got the app. It's great. The show itself was cute but fun. It's pretty much just a story about a group of school idols trying to save their school from closure. It's very much it's a by the numbers slice of life anime, but it does everything right. Great characters, fun songs. I loved the music soundtrack. Not just the songs, but the soundtrack itself. It was fun. The only real complaint is that they animated some of the dance scenes using CGI.
Oh, no.
And it does not mesh at all.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But other than that, I really liked Love Live. Also, alpacas.
Oh, is that the one that the alpacas come from? Okay. I guess I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, Love Live has alpacas. I don't know what their names are, but they're cute.
Alright, what about you, Kazuma?
For me, actually, this weekend while I was at the con with Adam, I watched all of Tokyo Ghoul for the first time ever.
I'm sorry.
How is that?
Tell them what you did.
I went out and bought a Kaneki cosplay.
Why? Why?
Just because I didn't have anything to go as for Halloween, so I was just like, whatever.
You could have just done, like, Attack on Titan. All you need is white pants, a white shirt, and a jacket. That's what I did for Halloween last year at school.
I was going to go as Decim from Death Parade, but my wig didn't come until Monday, and then they had a white wig there, so I was like, kill it with fire. Anyway, I also finished watching, actually at the same time as Adam, Fate's Day Night. Really good. I actually just now started watching Noragami, and that show's turning out pretty good, actually. Not bad.
Is that the one about the shrine god who wants to gain followers?
Yeah, basically, and he looks like a really, really weird teenager in a tracksuit.
I thought you were talking about Kanagi for a second.
It's one of the newer ones that came out, but I need to get... I've been meaning to watch Sword Art Online 2 forever, and I just keep getting like, oh, I want to watch this and this.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's not worth it.
Come back. You have so much to live for.
I keep telling myself it's not worth it, but everyone's like, watch it. It's so good. It's so much better than the second half of season 1. And I don't believe them. I somehow do not.
Okay, for the record, anything is better than the second half of Sword Art Online Season 1. But don't put yourself through that, Kaz.
It's Cosmic. It's okay. It's okay. There's something to live for. Jesus told me so.
Everything wrong in the first season is tenfold. Don't do it.
I sat through the second half of Dead Man Wonderland, so... So, Sword Art Online has second half is at least better than that. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Alright. So, we're going to talk about our news story for the week.
So, there was a lot of big news that happened, some good, some bad, but the one thing that we wanted to talk about is that Netflix aims to eventually produce anime. This is a story on Anime News Network, and it said that Netflix CEO Reed Hastings stated in an interview with the New York Times he is hopeful that Netflix will make a great anime show. Hastings was elaborating on how his company will produce more unique programming from production companies around the world, and therefore will spend $5 billion in 2016 on content. We've already been seeing examples of this, of Netflix streaming anime online. They've already streamed both seasons of The Knights of Sidonia. They're going to be airing Pretty Cure as Glitter Force. And most recently, they're streaming the hit shonen series, The Seven Deadly Sins. So, Netflix possibly producing anime. What are our thoughts on that? Cosma, you're the new guy, you go first.
Honestly, I'm actually pretty excited for this. It might actually give, more income for, the US to, actually start, taking anime seriously. A lot of companies now, in America nowadays, they don't take anime seriously. They just see it as, a fan-based thing that's brought over from Japan. But they never go to, the cons and see how many people are there. I'm honestly excited. Announcements of, Beyond the Boundary getting a dub, Hunter x Hunter getting a dub, Seven Deadly Sins getting a dub. That's what's going to bring more people into anime in the US. But yeah, I'm excited. Netflix, maybe now Hulu will actually start, kicking it in gear. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the same way. I just, with them producing anime, it could be really good potential. It depends on what they're producing. Like, I want to see a show that's, going to sell for them. Hopefully they'll make an idea that's going to, be good for like a hit audience, because we need that new Cowboy Bebop. We need that new Trigun. We need something, or Attack on Titan. We need to have those kind of shows because those are what is going to sell. Hopefully that, they will do that, but if they just, produce quality, quality over quantity, I mean, that's the thing. If they produce quality shows, that's what matters. Not produce a ton of shows that are all garbage. They need to produce a show that's going to be appealing to the American audience, but also have it be its original self and have all that stuff. And, I just hopefully, they are smart about it and they do, that's going to, going to sell for them. And hopefully that we see that in the future, but it's still too early to know if it's going to be good or successful or not. So hopefully we can, hope for to produce some really good stuff, and we'll see that in the future.
Key distinction here. They're not actually making anime. They're bringing stuff over, which leaves a huge amount of stuff that they could potentially bring over, which I think is phenomenal. There are still so many fantastic shows that American audience still haven't even touched, and I think this is absolutely phenomenal. Netflix has a huge audience. It's probably one of the biggest audiences they could capture. So if you could get a major studio to produce the next, Cowboy Bebop or anything of that caliber and put it on Netflix, the potential audience you could hit is incredible. I mean, it's great that they did some stuff with like Knights of Sidonia, but if they actually go hardcore out on this and just start licensing stuff like crazy, because Netflix is in a great position. They're not Funimation. They're not making DVDs. Like, they can buy it for so much less, and they can very quickly turn that stuff around, even if they decide to dub it. This is probably one of the more bigger pieces of news we're going to get before the year's out, and I think it's phenomenal. Yes, changing Pretty Cure to Glitter Force annoys me, but I'll take it.
I agree.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
It's going to be good. Like I said, hopefully, we'll get that.
Yeah. They're also, I was looking at the article, in addition to 7 Deadly Sins, they're bringing over the show called A Jin Demi-Human, which I looked at the description of that, and holy crap, that show has the potential to be phenomenal. I'm actually really excited to watch it. But, yeah, that's my little rant.
I'm optimistic about the whole thing. I mean, streaming is one thing. Like, you've got Hulu and Crunchyroll and Funimation and a couple other, like, different services. But I'm with you guys. Like, if they're gonna license stuff that, like, potentially didn't even have a chance of getting, like, licensed even for streaming in America, then I'm all for it. Like, give people an opportunity to find stuff that they wouldn't necessarily find. Maybe some obscure stuff in there. And like you said, they can even dub it if they want to. And, like, it won't cost them a whole lot. They're putting their own money into producing, like, an anime series. Like, a lot of their original, like, American stuff, like television series and stuff, they're actually really good. So if they're gonna put, like, a budget behind producing an animated series with a major studio in Japan, then I'm all for it. I am a little lenient, though, like, as far as, like, American studios or properties getting adapted into different things. Have any of you guys seen any of the Marvel anime?
I have.
Yeah, I saw a few episodes of the Wolverine one, and I dropped the X-Men one too. They're nah.
I like how we all pretty much just went Marvel anime. We
don't talk about those things.
Rabble.
They're average at best. So if they're gonna do something, I'd rather it be an original work and, put a lot of time and effort into it. And I'm really glad that they're streaming the Jin series, because I read a little bit of the manga and it's really good. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I'm optimistic about the whole thing. If they can, like, get more streaming numbers in there, just, like, based on anime alone, I mean, they already have, a crazy amount of subscribers and everything for their non-anime. So yeah, I'm optimistic about it. I'm excited for it.
I'm pretty much in agreement with everything you guys have been saying so far.
You get Netflix in Canada?
Yes, we do.
They allow you?
And we can VPN, get your American content. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is something that they've been building towards for a long time, and I mean, they've pretty much been doing everything that I think they should be doing. Like, they've been building up their relationships with other companies. Like, I mean, it seems like they've probably signed like a lot of contracts with like, I think they might have had something going with like Crunchyroll or something like that, because they were getting a lot of their content afterwards. I think they had like a something going with Aniplex USA for a while. So, I mean, I think that the really good part about this, just to try and add something else, is that they are obviously going to release these on DVD like they did with Knights of Sidonia, and that actually gives opportunities to maybe some lesser companies like Sentai when they release Knights of Sidonia. Like that's like kind of like a cheaper license for them, because it's already subbed and it's already dubbed. All they have to do is print it and release it on DVD. So I just think that business practices wise, they are being very smart about this, and this could potentially bring a lot more money to the industry. And based on the shows that they have in terms of anime and the shows that they have as their original content, their live action stuff, they know their audience pretty well. So to me, I don't see how this can go wrong. Knock on wood, I won't be eating my words later, but I think that this could bring potentially a lot of money to the industry. I mean, not to the point that it's going to be mainstream. I think that that's stretching a little bit too far. Anime is definitely more mainstream than it was, but I don't think it'll ever really be super mainstream. But like, let's say you're more likely to come across like an Attack on Titan merch in the wild than you were like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it'd be great. They don't even, just to kickflip off that for a second, even if they don't release DVDs of some like really obscure series, it'd just be great to get them popularized again, because that could lead to more stuff being brought over. Because if Sentai looks at something Netflix brought over and it was doing like really, really well numbers wise, they might decide to bring over stuff they wouldn't even try. I think it's just going to be a spiral effect, hopefully.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this, because I generally don't like. When I first heard this, I thought, oh no, they're trying to call their stuff anime and produce it from an American animation company, which is kind of an oxymoron. But now that I've actually read into it and they're using Japanese studios, that makes me a bit more trusting of what they're trying to do. And like I said before, more content is always good, even if it's bad content, I guess. And I mean, since from what I understand, Knights of Sidonia has done well. Haven't seen it. Since it got 2 seasons, it must have done well. People are really talking up Seven Deadly Sins also. I think they've got what they're doing down with. I know that their live action shows that they put out have done great, like Home something or other. I can't remember the second part of the title. And Orange is the New Black, I believe, were both from Netflix, and have done really great with their target audience, which is like high schoolers living with their parents. But I'll just be...
That's understatement.
Yeah, but like, I'll be cautiously optimistic. I know I could say, oh man, Netflix is bringing it back. Cautiously optimistic.
I guess I'll weigh in on my thoughts. I too am cautiously optimistic that this leads to good things. I think all my co-hosts have said everything that I needed to say, but the one thing that I hope this Netflix partnership with anime production is that it leads to the return of the OAV market. Because from the 80s all the way up to the mid to late 90s, OAVs were able to thrive because there were studios and creators and directors out there who were willing to make original content. Whether it was original little experimental one-shots or brief 2-episode adaptations of popular manga, OAVs were something short and simple for people to watch that would often go beyond the norms of some anime. Hell, thanks to OAVs, we got classics like Gunbuster, Megazone 2-3, Giant Robo, and the list of classic OAVs goes on. Mind you, there was plenty of garbage in the OAV scene like Angel Cop, MD Geist, and Genocyber, but the lack of OAVs in recent years, I think that the anime industry would benefit from a return of an OAV market, and I hope Netflix serves as a platform for that.
Yeah, I hope that, hopefully we can get back to those roots of, like I said, the OVA. I think that'd be kind of I think that's something we need again, because it's really don't get much OVAs anymore. So, hopefully we can.
Most OVAs nowadays with extra.
Today, we're going to be talking about guilty pleasures in the anime world. I have them, you have them, we all have them. It's that one thing that you're not only ashamed to admit that you watch, but you're even more ashamed to admit that you like. So, before we get into our own personal guilty pleasures, we must ask this question. What makes an anime a guilty pleasure?
So, this is Daniel. The thing about guilty pleasures is it's hard to describe usually guilty pleasures are shows that you're not really fond of, usually. I feel like, with guilty pleasures, they're like shows that you would never really watch in a million years. Like, you would never watch a really raunchy, edgy comedy or over hyper-violent show with a ton of nudity or gore. And sometimes you just realize you watch it and it's like a train wreck. You just can't, you look at it and you just can't stop looking at it. It just it amuses you for some reason. It just kind of sucks you in. And for me as a guilty pleasure, it's like you're self-aware of all this, how bad it is. But again, you just can't stop watching it and you find somewhat amusing about watching that kind of show. I mean, there are shows like, for example, like Garzy's Wing and Mad Bull 30, kind of a fun, over-the-top, pointless show, but you love it. So that's kind of like my definition of guilty pleasure.
Basically, for guilty pleasures, it's basically anything where absolutely everything that could be wrong is wrong. The animation, the dub acting, the story, anything where whoever was involved in the production just did not care. They had no faith in the story and just wanted to push it out. Those are often guilty pleasures to me just because of how entertainingly bad they can be. I find it less enjoyable when it's something where they tried really hard and just failed, because it's hard to find something like that entertaining, because you just mostly feel bad that something that someone genuinely cared about did not succeed. So yeah, basically just something that is so terrible that I find it hilarious. Like Ikitosen, or anything along those lines.
To me, something that I say is a guilty pleasure is something that I would not openly admit to watching. Something that I watch the first few seconds, I see something really stupid, and I think, oh lordy, please don't let my parents come in and let me see that I'm watching this. I mean, there's plenty...
Boku no Pico.
You had to say that, didn't you?
Son, are you watching that Golden Boy again?
But no, to me, like, a guilty pleasure, because I'm somebody who always looks for an upside in anime.
My mom actually did walk down while I was watching Golden Boy, by the way.
Great anime to show your parents.
Just glad it wasn't during one of the toilet scenes.
Something that I don't think is necessarily bad, but something that I enjoy even though I know it has faults. Not necessarily in animation, but in execution, per se. Because I know a bad anime when I see it. But to me, like, my guilty pleasures are anime that's not great, but they're not exactly bad either. They're hardly irredeemable. But that's it for my definitions of guilty pleasures. Who's next?
I'll go next. My definition of a guilty pleasure is really just something that is not of your personal preference. Like, something that, like, you watched and you know should not have passed the 3-episode challenge, but it did just because you wanted to know, and it shouldn't have. But yeah, personal preference is a big thing for me. A lot of shows have ironically been my guilty pleasure, so.
For me, it's anything with an overabundance of fan service.
That's my definition too.
Same.
Yeah, that'd be part of mine too.
That is mine as well.
I would much rather watch something with a serious plot, science fiction, fantasy, action, what have you. Like the fan service ridden comedy, like harem-esque tropes is one thing I would consider like falling into my guilty pleasure category, because it's just, to me, it's just mindless popcorn entertainment type deal. Like, it's so bad that it's almost good, but it could be redeemable based on a few qualities. I kind of agree with what Nate was saying. I try to look on the upside despite it having flaws. And a lot of the like a few of my guilty pleasures could even be considered like average at best, if not, better than that. But to me, it's just mindless entertainment, fan service ridden, like dumb stuff is how I categorize it as. Entertaining, but with no like deeper meaning behind it, or like no personal strong connection to me. It's just something I enjoy watching to pass the time, and if it's like crappy enough I can laugh at it, so be it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. For me, a guilty pleasure is something I feel is bad, but I can't stop watching it, not because it's bad, because I'm actually enjoying trash for some reason. And like, another way for me to say it is what I would not ask my buddy, hey, let's watch some anime, and put in this. I've told my friends, hey, let's watch anime, and I put in my favorite shows that I feel are good, that were in the 9 to 10s in my rating system. I would never give them the 5 to 6s. I think that's basically, if I would not show this to somebody, and I feel that it's bad, but I love it. That's what a guilty pleasure is for me.
The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
What a story, Adam.
Oh, hi, Adam.
How's your sex life?
The test results are in. I definitely have breast cancer.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh, hi, Ma.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
You're tearing me apart, Adam.
Oh god, I think I started something. I'm not going to say much because I just end up mirroring everybody else's sentiments. So let's move on to what our guilty pleasures are.
Alright, I'll go first. I have a few. And for anime, I'll give off my first. One show that I will feel ashamed to admit to liking, it was an ecchi anime that aired in 2013, a very strong year for anime, as many people say. I enjoyed Wanna Be the Strongest in the World. Not ashamed to admit it. Yeah, it's a female women's wrestling anime.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about.
Oh, I remember that one. Holy
yeah.
shit.
I remember it.
Headache
Yeah,
inducing.
The show opens with our main character being placed, I think, in a half Boston Crab or a leg lock of sorts, and screaming in agony. And that's pretty much a good chunk of the show, at least in the wrestling scenes. Like, the girls moaning in agony, because that's what they do in Japanese women's wrestling. I've seen videos. Which is a shame, because outside of that bad first impression, I actually thought that the story itself for Wanna Be the Strongest in the World was actually very well done. I liked the main character. Her arc developed at a natural rate, and it had a good lesson about how you just can't jump into the squared circle and expect to be the best in the world. You have to learn how to wrestle. You have to learn how to take on your opponents. You have to learn to take your failure in stride with your success. And in that regard, I felt Wanna Be the Strongest in the World succeeded. What really weighed it down for me was the fan service with a high emphasis on Riona. Riona is Japanese. Essentially, it's a fetish for seeing women or men in pain or being put in compromising positions. But other than that, Wanna Be the Strongest in the World, it's great. When it's good, it's great, but when it's bad, it can be a real turnoff. One honorable mention for my guilty pleasure in anime is Queensblade.
Acid nipples.
Oh, please.
I saw both seasons and the OAVs, and let me tell you something. If the show was more concerned with developing its characters and world building, it would have been a much better series, but instead, it's stupid, borderline hentai fan service almost every episode.
Translation, Sekon no Quasar?
Where does the snake go?
I would sooner watch Queensblade than Seikon no Quasar. I have a guilty pleasure for manga. Terraformers.
What are you talking about? Terraformers is great. It's so great they're making a movie. A live-action movie.
I know, it
was horrible.
I love Terraformers, but I will freely admit, it's really, really stupid.
Oh yeah, but it's great.
Basically,
being stupid.
The best way I can describe Terraformers, it's a B-movie in anime form. If you've ever seen a movie like Forbidden Planet or Them, that's essentially what Terraformers is. Throw in some genetic experimentation in there, and you've got a really crazy series that at least is aware of what it's supposed to be, but it never winks at the camera. Also, the anime sucked.
The anime kept me entertained when I was working on stuff for Christmas.
Actually, I take that back. The anime wasn't bad, but it wasn't exactly good either.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It was enjoyable. Except for the censorship, that was horrible.
My ultimate guilty pleasure is Queensblade. I love it. I especially got psyched up for the fights in the second season, between like the different pairs and everything, and it's like so bad. Like I can't help but like it though. It's like outside of my comfort zone. That's saying a whole lot because I'm not really into the fan servicey topless girls type shows. I liked it for what it was. It was mindless, stupid fantasy entertainment with a lot of girls fighting. And another show I like that is way, way more tame in comparison than Queensblade by a long shot is a series that everybody seemed to hate while it was airing. And I watched it in about 2 days, which I never do, even with shorter shows. It was a show called 11 Eyes.
Oh.
Oh God, no, we are not going down that train wreck.
It's so average in nearly every respect, story-wise, character development. It's just a mess. I could not help watching it. I was entertained. I wanted to know more about the strange world that the kids were getting sent to. One of the characters had a personality disorder later on. There was just so much potential in the show. They talked about alternate realities. Alternate realities. Some of them had really interesting abilities, and there is a sex scene, a full-on sex scene later on in the series. I'll spoiler alert that right now, which I don't think Queensblade has, but it was just a what the WTF moment. I can't even understand why I liked it so much. I mean, I even like the animation, the character design.
And there's a porn OMV. Yeah,
basically. And another one that I'll just throw out there, which I'm not going to talk much about because I love it so much, is Cyber Team and Akihabara, and that's all my guilty pleasures. Done.
Guilty pleasures. I'm going to talk about 2. The runner-up is a weird little ecchi harem anime called Maburaho. Yeah. We're going down this path.
We're going down that path. Damn it, Adam. Where's my whiskey?
Gotta save that for the review.
Yes.
We're gonna review Maburaho? Yes!
Oh.
No. The 20-year anniversary will review that, okay?
Can we play roulette while discussion?
You know what? If we're still doing this in 20 years, I will bookmark that and make sure that it happens.
Don't hold me to my word.
We'll all go to Vegas and play Marlboro on the big screen while playing roulette.
So,
Hookers, blackjack, and Marlboro. Sure, Marlboro. Why
You
not?
will have to get me really drunk for that.
My pleasure.
Ooh, Adam.
I know what he's like when he's drunk. It's funny. But Mabarajo is just like, it's this great premise that absolutely falls completely flat on its face. The quick 20-second synopsis is, what if Merlin was a little dweeb who couldn't get girls? And then all the girls discovered he was actually Merlin.
wait, no.
Yeah, that's basically it. I won't go too far into that. It does nothing offensive. It's just so weird. And I owned it at one point because I just walked through Best Buy and went, ooh, what's this? Click. Oh, crap. Mom, look away. But yeah, that's the honorable mention. And,
Oh, gosh.
oh, this hurts to admit. It really does. My guilty pleasure is a decently long anime released way back when in 2004. It's very long, and I just gotta say it. SD Gundam Force. Oh, that hurts to
Oh
say.
my god. What?
Gun damn, man.
I don't know why I like it. I don't know why. It's so cheesy, so corny, and yet I don't even like the art style, but I don't know why I like this show, but I
It's really
do.
funny. It's funny because the SD Gundam OAVs are actually quite entertaining, but the first SD Gundam series we got here in America was of the craptacular SD Gundam Force.
I know it's bad. I just, whenever it came on or wherever I could readily find episodes, I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. Do I buy it? It's one of the few guilty pleasures I have, and it's so terrible. I know it's terrible too. So, I think we'll toss it to Dan. Daniel, what do you got?
Jeez. I can go throw out titles that are so bad it's funny, like Garzy's Wing and MD Geist and Mad Bull 34. But, those are kind of easy to put out. But I have two I can name. One of them's not too bad, and it's kind of it's a fun, sweet show, but I know how stupid it is. But it's kind of a cute show. It's a little show called Midori no Hibi.
Oh no.
Midori Days.
Midori Days, yes. A man
I got
has...
that box set for $15. I should watch it.
It's definitely worth watching. It's very entertaining. It's just this guy who's this ultimate badass. He fights with his right hand, and yet he can't get a girlfriend. And then he wakes up one day with a girl on his right hand. This little, looks like a puppet almost. And it's kind of like, it's a real girl. She confesses his love to him, but it's like his right hand. And it sounds stupid, and it can be, but it's actually kind of sweet. But it's still very dumb. But it's a cute show, nonetheless. And if you have a chance to find it, it's worth checking out. And it's a good, you can watch it, marathon it in a day or so. It's really sweet. But it's just over the top. It's silly, but it's charming in its own way. And I kind of admit, despite the fact how stupid the premise is, it is very enjoyable. And it's a lot of fun. And it's definitely worth checking out. But my number one guilty pleasure is an anime that I really hated when it first came out. But then I watched it again, and I understand how stupid it is. But I like it a lot. It's called Girls Bravo.
Oh.
I am a giant banana.
No!
Yes.
Oh.
Bananas. So, for anyone who watched my club, when I talk about my club review, I showed it in club one day, and I decided to prank my anime club and passed out a bunch of bananas before episode 2. And no one understood the joke except for people who actually watched the show. The show is so stupid with its premise of characters. It's his guy goes to this other world with all women. He's, every girl loves him to death. It's cliche, asinine. The animation's decent for what it was, but it's nothing special. But the story's just stupid. It's all sexual provocative. It's very, a lot of innuendos. But I can't, I will say that that the characters were entertaining and they were actually very enjoyable, despite the fact being in a really, premise. It's actually a lot of fun. It's stupid. yes, and there's a lot of nudity and edginess, but I enjoyed it. Like, it never kept me bored. And just the bananas thing just cracked me up. I don't know why, but it just made me laugh. And Liam O'Brien playing the pervy guy, dressed and saying, "I am a giant banana." Gets me every time.
Is it peanut butter jelly time?
Oh, it's more than peanut butter jelly time.
Well, there's one thing about that show. Isn't he like allergic to touching girls or something? I don't remember.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of important.
Yeah,
Like-
that's important. That's important for him. He's allergic to women, but except for like one or two girls.
It's like his childhood friend or something. I only
childhood friend and then the other girl.
I
Yeah,
watched the first episode one time.
But episode 2, where one of the main girls looks like performing fellatio on a banana, and this guy going on a rant about how bananas are a very important fruit to eat. It's one of the funniest scenes in that show. It's so bad, but when I did that to my club, when they saw me pass out the bananas, they looked straight at me because they knew what I was doing, because I trolled that damn club.
Don't you?
Oh, I'm a naughty boy. Yes. But no, despite the fact it is stupid, but I love it, and I admit I will watch it once in a while and just pop it in just for laughs. Alright, so who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Yay.
When you said Midori Days, I missed my cue. I was gonna be like, well, every masturbation joke ever.
I didn't want to say it.
So I have two. One's a dub. So back when I was a little tiny thing, I liked to watch Hunter x Hunter from 1999. I liked to watch the English dub. And it hurt my soul every time I did. And then, number 1 came along, my guilty pleasure, School Days.
Oh!
And, School Days, I purely watch it just for the ending. I go through the whole entire series, watch all the episodes, just to sit down, alcoholic drink in my hand, and drink away the pain while I watch everyone die.
That guy got what he deserved. Period.
Everyone got what they deserved.
Oh yeah, you weren't pregnant after all.
Because it's the perfect ending for that kind of anime. I somehow feel like they planned this. Like, they knew we would all hate all these characters and just wish to see all of them die.
Warchan had a field day with that.
Oh yeah. And they gave us our wish. And it's like the best anime for that ever. But yes, that is my guilty pleasure. I don't know who's next.
I guess that's me. So, I have quite a lot, but I'll try to keep it to 2. So I've mentioned, I think earlier in this podcast, and I've mentioned a few times that my big guilty pleasure is Ikitosen. Just purely for that god-awful dub. The journey of Koken pronouncing Hakufu's name from totally normal at the beginning to some inaudible belch at the end of the first season.
I can do that.
And, Hakufu, she's voiced by Carrie Savage, and because of this series, every time I hear her voice in the anime, all I think is, basics! Basics! I don't know, there's not much else to say about it, because I've only seen the first season, but that, it's so bad, and that it has to be watched just for that dub alone. A more present, guilty pleasure. I've only watched a few episodes of this. I'm not sure if it's still airing, but it's called Makarana Danshi. I probably butchered that name.
Is that How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
No, it's basically this anime where you play the part of the main character. You know, you don't talk, but it's basically like a wish fulfillment anime where every single episode is like a different boyfriend who has a different story. And again, I've only watched like the first 2 episodes, but it's so creepy. that you cannot help but to continue watching this.
I guess I'll try to start with most recent. I might get like one or two switched around. I think the biggest one that is like has public dislike is I like the Irregular at Magic High School.
The Irregular at the Magical High School. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, I liked it too. So.
How about to make it
No,
even worse?
I like it. If you remove the main character and focus exclusively on the side characters.
I'll make it worse. I like the main character. I don't know why I like it so much. It might be like innocence shattering type of thing because I hadn't seen a magical high school thing up to that point. And I remember I did not even go out and find it myself. I was recommended to watch it by somebody. So it's not entirely my fault. Blame whoever it was from that chat room. I'll blame it on him. But I actually do legitimately really like the show. If it wasn't horribly expensive, I would have bought it. And I'll go through other ones really quick. I think the next one that occurs is I actually liked Gonna Be the Twin Tails, which was last year. But the reason I liked it because my favorite genre, I'll just throw that out there, is genderbender, and that thing did every single freaking genderbender trope there is. I was basically sitting there kind of get stuck in female form, has to go to school as girl, someone gets a crush on her. Wow, this is doing every single thing. It's like, I guess the only good thing about the show is if you want a comprehensive look at gender-swapped genderbender tropes, you could just watch it. And one after that would be the anime Camphor. Nothing good is to be found there. It's a light novel adaptation, so you know what that means. And the last one is, let me get the title, Otome wa Boku ni Koi Shiteru, which was 2006. You don't hear about it because time it came out just happened to coincide with the release of Code Geass. So you really don't hear about it, which is probably for the best, considering that it's a visual novel adaptation, which they kind of screwed up everything on. They adapted it from an 18-plus visual novel to anyone can watch anime. They adapted like a 20 or like 30-hour-plus game to 12 episodes. They basically did everything wrong, but I still really like it, even though it's marketed as, quote, comedy. I did not laugh once during that thing. Though I have no idea why I like it. Making things even worse, it was the first anime I bought from Right Stuff. Ever. So, meaning it's the,
Now that's a waste of money.
It was $3!
I own that show.
$3.
Now that was a waste of money.
$3 too much.
I like it. I legitimately like it because I have played the visual novel all the way through and gotten all the endings, and I just like it because of the characters. That's the only thing they did right. Even though they did get kind of smart, they did cut out stuff that I think most people would object to, like, let's say, the incest hand job, which is within like 15 minutes depending on how fast you read. Or,
oh, now I definitely have to watch this.
It's not in the show. They cut it out for obvious reasons. Or the time is...
So there's no Wincest?
Nah, not in this one. If you want that, you can play the game, and it's unavoidable. And, like, the other big thing I would think people object to is, main character has sex with a ghost.
I have several questions.
Ectoplasm everywhere.
Well, after he does that, proceeds to go to heaven. He's like, okay, she's gone. I have allowed her to pass on. He returns to his dorm and she's back. It's just like, I love you. It's like, oh, wonderful. And the worst part is in the game, you can actually romance this ghost and get her as the ending character. Somehow. So whatever that means for how this guy is after, high school, raises many questions. But those are my big guilty pleasures.
And we just learned a lot about Andrew.
I own... how about I make it worse? I own the first show. There was a sequel show that was only 3 OVAs, not released in America. I own a bootleg subbed copy of that. and I own the Japanese manga, untranslated. I like it way too much. I have a problem.
Yes, you do.
And I'm writing the script for an abridged version of it too.
Oh boy.
I have a really big problem.
Is this fun for the whole family?
Maybe not. I'm debating whether I want to put in re-add the handjob sexting because I figured out a way to do that.
I was just about to say, does it add incestual handjobs anywhere?
I'm debating whether I want to do that or not because I've cut the footage to look like it happens. But I'm debating whether I want to leave it in or not because I feel like that might be a problem. And
Talent, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Alright, so that's it for our Guilty Pleasures episode. As always, with the AniQuest podcast, say that you're free to like whatever you like, no matter how ashamed you are to admit it. So, with all that, I am Nate, and with me are my co-hosts.
Oh boy, I have a newfound respect for a lot of things. I'm Adam, everybody. See you next week.
This is Dan the Man signing out.
This is Chris. I'm gonna go watch Queensblade for this time.
This is Andrew. The hidden bookcase is in the closet under the floor.
This is Sarah Kay, and remember, if you just want to be really strong when you're fighting, just shout basics!
This is Cosma. I'm gonna go watch some 7 Deadly Sins on Netflix now. Bye!
See you next week, everybody.